Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna make this new series where I will talk about things happening in gaming and things that don't deserve a long video, like things that should not take too long to talk about. And I want to make it because I think it's a good way to introduce my channel to other people, I guess, that may not be into COD or may not be into Battlefield, may not be into certain things that I am into, but still they can have something to look for in my channel. You know what I mean? Like it's just making, I guess, a bigger audience. So first thing I want to talk about, and by the way, if you have any suggestions, I'd love if you could put them down in the comments. I will read them. I read everything that gets put there, but nevertheless, I would like to talk about consoles. There was this leak about Sony PlayStation 5 and that it was going to introduce this thing called PlayStation Plus Premium. And a lot of people don't believe it. Personally, I don't believe it. It sounds too fake. Mainly, I guess, what gave it away was this person was claiming that Sony was going to basically force developers to create a beta for PS Plus users. Like if you had PS Plus, you would be able to play the beta for whatever game you want. You would have access to betas and alphas too. So that just completely gave it away as a fake leak. But it was interesting. I thought, Sony doesn't have the power to do that, obviously, but that would be cool, right? Like, it is interesting because for us, the consumers, we would be able to experience games without having to buy them, and we could make, decisions based on playing the beta or the alpha. Unfortunately, for developers, that would not work. Like, imagine what would have happened if everybody had access to the BioWare's Anthem beta, which they did have access after a certain point. And they went, free for everybody to try it out. But imagine if they didn't do that. You know what I mean? I think, going free, like a beta going free, it's not because the developers, it's more like free marketing, I guess, because everybody's going to be talking about the beta and all that. So it's just a way to market your game even more, to expand your range without having to pay for marketing. So I don't think they do it out of the bottom of their heart, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, betas aren't, trustworthy, I guess, but you would be able, like, for example, Ubisoft games are pretty terrible. They are low in quality. That's not to say that, they aren't fun. I've had fun with Ubisoft games, and I'm sure you have too. They can make fun games, but the quality usually is not there. Like, there is just usually a lot of bugs and a lot of problems, and they don't care. They release games like that, and they don't have an issue with it. People don't seem to have an issue with it because they keep on supporting this kind of practice. But imagine what would happen if everybody got the chance to play the betas for Ubisoft games. A lot of people who probably bought the Division, the original one, would not have bought the Division, including myself. I bought it and it was a complete failure in my eyes. So I would not have bought that. Imagine what would have happened if people had the chance to play, what was this game called? The one with the flying ship and all that stuff. No Man's Sky. Imagine what would have happened if people got to play the beta and they saw that, it was pretty terrible. So obviously Sony doesn't have the power to do that, but it would be interesting, but bad for developers. So it's not gonna happen. That gave it away, fake leak. Now let's move on to a different topic, which is Google Stadia. I'm interested in it. Personally, I think it's gonna be free. You're just going to buy like a regular console, but the console just isn't there. That's what I think it's gonna be, but that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss the amount of attention that Google gives people on Twitter. And they give this attention, I believe, for now, because the product is new. I don't think they will continue doing this throughout Google Stadia's life cycle. I just don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. I just don't think it will. And so let's move on to the next topic. We are going to talk about, I guess, battle royales. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about battle royale. People are kind of tired of it. Personally, myself, I got tired of it about a year ago or so. I'm not even sure. But we're not going to talk about the game itself. We're going to talk about I want to say the way that people are, I guess, moving on. Now, I don't necessarily know if they are. I'm just speculating here because it feels like the more the time passes, the less and less I hear about battle royales. For example, Apex Legends. Now, Apex Legends, when it released, it created this, this hype, this crazy wave of people that were talking about Apex Legends, right? I believe when it got streamed, for the first time, it generated a lot of viewership, and I believe it was, like big numbers around 200K, and it continued like that for a bit, and now allegedly they only get 50K viewerships per day, which is 75% of loss of viewership. Now 50K is still a decent amount, but for battle royale, I mean, you had Fortnite, for example, that was hyped throughout like the entire year because it didn't have any competition, to be honest. And Apex kind of died down quickly. And this other battle royale called Firestorm, which is the Battlefield Firestorm, it also died quickly. Like within the week, I didn't hear anything about Firestorm. So I just think people are kind of getting tired of battle royale. I don't think that it has necessarily anything to do with what people are saying it does. I mean, it does. Like, people are saying basically that these slow updates are killing Apex because they don't update the game as often as Fortnite would update. But I think part of its failure now is the fact that people are just getting tired of battle royale. I'm not saying that slow updates won't kill a game. It did. It happened with Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online because the single player is pretty good, but the online part is pretty dead. I expected this game to be like what GTA 5 was back in 2013. Have you ever played it? It was very fun. There was nothing to do, but it was very fun. And it just, Red Dead Online isn't that. It's pretty boring, pretty dull. There is nothing to do like back when GTA 5 launched, but it feels empty. Like at least GTA 5 had this ambience, this it felt alive, like the world was alive, and Red Dead Online just feels bland. But going back to the Battle Royales topic and all that stuff, right? Epic Games has hired Jason West. This is the co-creator of Respawn Entertainment. This guy is the one of the masterminds behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, which are, in my opinion, I think Modern Warfare 2 is the best Call of Duty I have ever played. So it was created by this dude. This dude, I think, helped create Respawn Entertainment after he left Activision's Infinity Ward team. So this dude knows what he's doing, and Epic Games has hired him for what? We don't know yet because they haven't said any. They just kind of confirmed that they did hire him, but they haven't said for what exactly. So it's interesting. We'll see within, I'm pretty sure, the next few months what his role is in this entire Epic Games thing. I'm not sure if he's going to be, head of a studio, director. I'm not sure what he's going to be. But it's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what they could have him working on. Maybe they will have him work on a brand new first-person shooter, for all we know. It's interesting. Let me know what you all think. I think that's it for now. This was just kind of like a little introduction to this series. So I'll see y'all next time if you stick around.